of how the stream went. So, episode 4 was Rise of the Originals. That's not to say, however, it was mostly going to be a showcase of our OCs, or at least the ones that we've probably seen already or don't get enough love of, and that was basically the focal one. But there were some matches that progressed the storyline. So the episode arc, and this was a recurring theme, was that Beverly, we're going with the idea, like in my Slamathon videos, that Beverly Junebed is the owner of the G&C Wrestling Federation, right? She's taken over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's the chairwoman and the spokesperson, kind of like the Tony Khan and the Vince McMahon of their respective federations. And her job is obviously to keep Ari in check, Ari being my wrestler, obviously, but she's there to make sure everyone is happy. So, like, while my guy puts the matches and the storylines into place, will kind of like sometimes like weaseling his way in. That's just the nature of his character. Beverly is more like listens to disputes, pitches idea to Ari, and gets, make sure the morale's up high. So the first match didn't have any real specific plot point to it. It was Rusty's OC, Ramses Halloran, who was a literal shark dude. He played in like a British UK rock band, and he fought the Beatmeister, who was basically my friend and artist, who also has like a shark sona, and Rocky's character, Yuzi Yamaguchi. Now, another focal point for this wrestling thing was that Yuzi Yamaguchi he's part of the Yakuza, and he wants to kind of self-insert him into, or like, kind of get into the Federation a little bit more, as it were. Now, Rocky's new to D&D, so I had to remind him. I was like, hey, don't be too controlling in the D&D, because remember, as the DM, I still have to keep the boat in the right direction. The boat still has to follow its path. You can't be like, yeah, usually does this and usually does that. It's like, no, that's not how D&D works. The DM fills you in on the story, and your character has to react to that, but you can't be like, yeah, usually kicks the door down and says, yeah, I'm going to be in this match. And it's like, no, that's not how that works, Rocky. So there was a bit of a kerfluffle with that during the stream. And since Rocky was sick with allergies, I kind of helped him through. I was like, Rocky, we'll deal with that later. We'll just say, yeah, Beverly says, sure, you did a pretty good match, even though you lost, but we're interested in having you over. Bit of an awkward phone conversation usually, but we'll get back to you on that. And then, let's see here. Nistrue, which is like an alternate universe, kind of like evil twin of Rusty's Sona. He took on your character, Raph. Skriabadar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skriabatar.
Okay. It's really hard to pronounce, I'm going to be honest with you. It's like Skriabadar.
I know, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
we'll call
English,
him Raph for now to make it easier. So your guy fought the evil version of Rusty, and it was a straightforward one-on-one. Now, originally the plan was that your character would be in the primetime division, but as you guys have told me, that you and Tyler, or you and JR95 wanted to have a storyline together. So Wrath is going to be in the main server title championship division. But however, you'll be starting at the bottom because there's a lot of feuds going up at the top. But when the pay-per-view event is over after next week, like when next week's stream is done, I'll do some modifications to storylines, and I'll include yours with Tyler's in, and hopefully you'll be able to make it for that so we can work that together.
No, I'll definitely do my best to make it to the main event thing, because I do want to see that.
All right, so March 3rd is when, if you can make it on March 3rd for that, I can work your storyline into there.
Excellent.
All right, cool. And then let's see here. Miranda and Suzuki, they didn't have a match scheduled for tonight, but that's one of their matches going into the pay-per-view for the Women's Championship. Because we had a lot on our plate and there was a lot going on, I had to skip like playing as Miranda and Suzuki, because it did go on for 3 hours, so I'll address that in the on the 24th stream.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So and then let's see. I mentioned Nist beat your guy. It was a pretty competitive match. Nist and Wrath. One thing I did notice is that your guy has a really cool move called the alley-oop, where he kind of like flips him over, and your guy kept doing that while he was on the ropes, which made it for a really cool effect. It looked like you're actually choking Nist like on the ropes. Like he would flip him over and he would bounce off the turnbuckle. I didn't bring that up during the stream, unfortunately, but I will bring that up again. It looked really cool. Not a bad match overall. The AI did a pretty good job as your wrestler, even if he came up a bit short. But it was still pretty fun to watch. So you'll probably get.
I find that actually kind of fitting for Skriavatar because like the Sin of Wrath, he does anything at any length to basically clinch the win.
Yeah. All right, and then the next one was so from Randa and Suzuki, they will have a Iron Man 10-minute match for the women's championship. And then I think, like I said, after the pay-per-view, we'll do some adjustments to the women's division. The next match was kind of a curious one because we had.
Speaking of the.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of the women's division, I do wanna at some point add Envy to it.
Okay, when your wrestler's ready and available for upload, let me know, and I will do that.
She pretty much is. I just haven't uploaded her yet.
That's what I mean. Like when you have her uploaded, let me know, and I can download her because I will be clearing up a few spots on my roster.
Yeah.
All right, and then so the next match was a fatal 4-way match again, featured more OCs. This one was a curious case because it was a bunch of oddities. So you had JR95's character Bradley Nabel, which is his kind of like version of a fictional relative of the Nabels from that movie Stay Tuned, if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
But they get sucked into like the satellite dish, and they go like through different. Uh-huh. So one of the running jokes we have is that the reason why he's so unstable is because nobody believes him that happened. That his relatives got sucked into a satellite dish and were on Hell TV and all that kind of stuff. So he's a little nutty. And then we have Quarter's character, Frank Rage. The thing with Frank Rage is that he or she or it has like no bio. It was kind of like, or if there was one, I definitely don't remember it at all. It was something that Quarter made when the game came out back in like March of last year. So another in-joke with that one. This one was kind of like one where we were able to cut loose. Like there was no storyline involvement. It was just like, let's have a little bit of fun with it. So Frank Rage I kept calling Frank Rage Danny DeVito or Danny DeVito because it looks like Danny DeVito with a mask on, right? And then we had Cryptic's character Lucas Fox which was more like a traditional wrestler, kind of a showboaty, extreme excellence in the execution, like the Triple X superstar, right? So that one was pretty cool. And then there was a joke character I made called the Almighty George. And the thing with that character is that it was a character that I made back in middle school on the N64, and it was meant to be like, hey, what if Kane from WWE had an afro and a gas mask, and suspenders make him look like fucking both. That was the joke. That match went pretty screwy because it was like one person Bradley Nabel got eliminated first, and then Frank Rage eliminated Bradley Nabel, and then Lucas Fox came next, and then I had to play Hand of God because the match kept escalating to the around the ring, so I was like, okay, Hand of God time. If the match goes on for too long, I have to play as one of the characters just to get that shit going. And I think I lost to the Almighty George. So the Almighty George won that one. That was a funny battle. You guys might get some laughs out of that, of how weird that was. And now here's the kicker. This is when we went to storyline mode. And this is where the storyline stuff came to play. All right, so Beverly announces that... actually, let me go back a bit. There's a storyline right now going on between... that I made between Rusty and Cryptic. And it began when I set up a match between Steven Steele, which is Cryptic's character, and Rusty's two boys, Russell and RJ Steele. Now, if you know where this is going, they both share the same last name, hence the fight. So you got Steven Steele and the other Steels, the two dog Steels, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we played an AI match, and Steven Steele, he actually put up he did beat them, but it wasn't like a squash match. They actually gave him a run for his money, but he did wind up eliminating both of those guys. So the storyline that I set up going in as Booker is that Rusty, being the proud papa, is like, "Hey, you were unfair to my sons. You're the big, bulky military expert. What the hell? You left my sons out to pasture. You beat them to death. What the fuck? That was a little uncalled for, right?" Steven Steele is like, "Hey, that's just the nature of the business. I can't help it that I'm that damn good." That kind of. He was that kind of. So he's the kind of like the heel villain in this case, and so the match progresses when Rusty's character somewhat takes it personal to the point where he brings up, AWO, right? And that's when Cryptic's wrestler gets involved. So he comes out and Cryptic's character is like, "Hey, you want to make this personal? Okay, we'll make this personal. Let me tell you about my federation. We've heard about yours, the AWO, the whole awoo thing from a while back. Let me tell you about my corporation, the NGW." So that's when it became like a family matter. So now it's becoming like a family versus family fight. Now, they did have a one-on-one match a couple of weeks ago in the Lions Den match. Cryptic was supposed to win because I was playing as him, but the game glitched out. It's like, so it was like I couldn't actually put Rusty down to rest or something like that, and it came to a point where Rusty actually pulled a surprise win on Cryptic. At least I think I lost to him. I don't remember the circumstances exactly. I remember playing it, but I couldn't actually do anything. Yeah, but yeah, so Rusty won that match. So now you have Rusty is now the person that people are rooting for. And so they had another match. I forget what that was exactly. I have to go back. I think it was like a standard 3v3 that ended with I think Rusty's team winning again. And now as Rusty's coming out to the ring, he's proud of the advantage he has like with the W's against Cryptic. So he brings out his old Federation Tag Team Championship belts, including the one like the main championship, and he kind of goes through a history of like, AEW. It's unfortunate what happened to it, but we made the best we could under that. And thank you to Beverly for buying out the company. And I'm sure Cryptic feels that way too about NGW, right? But look, it began as it began as a it began one way, and now it's escalated. This is personal, and I draw the line here. That's when Cryptic comes out and he says a few words. He's like, "No, it's not about drawing the line of sand. We are going to end the whatever memory that AWO had, Rusty." And that's when the six begin to start to throw it down for a little bit. That's when Beverly stops. She enters and she says, "Okay, look, it's my first night doing this whole thing, and I want this things to go off without a hitch. Unfortunately, well, with the Uzi thing, you guys are making this a little too difficult for me. So here's the deal, what I propose. We're going to set up another 3v3, but the stakes are going to get higher this time. Rusty, you are going to be the captain of your team of your two boys, Russell and RJ. And Cryptic, you're going to be the team captain for Steven Steele and his brother, or not his son-in-law, or his relative Adam Walker. However, the winner of this match, the team captain, is going to get a number one spot for the G&C Server Championship following the results of Final Draft and Steven. But the team that competes is going to become the inaugural G&C Tag Team Champion. Pretty wild stuff. Like the
Nice.
yeah, that's going to be cool. So we ended it where they throw it down again, and Beverly has to call security because it gets overly violent. Now the war has begun, and also made it so that Beverly made an announcement too. If this feud keeps going, when we get 2K, when we all buy 2K23 and the War Games matches in it, we'll let that match end the feud once and for all. Once we get 2K23, so this is like a part
Nice.
one of a part two. All right, so after that, we had Tiger Black and White Tiger with Violet Tiger, which is more Cryptic OCs. They're like a luchador Japanese family style of, or Japanese wrestling family, versus the Young Guns, which is a Western themed team. John Wolf and Cody Cook with Vinny. My Vinny is managing them because he's like, he's a cowboy. Makes sense. Now, here's where the Beverly arc kicks in that basically, you remember when my guy grabbed the rope and the referee didn't notice it?
Yeah.
It happened again during the tag team match. Like, Cody Cook grabbed the rope and the referee was blind as a bat and didn't fucking see that, which is fucking weird. So I worked that into the storyline in that something screwy, like, it was like something screwy with the ref tonight. You don't think he was, he's something, I don't know, something's weird. He feels like he's working for somebody. Somebody's kind of playing the match and just messing with things. So that happened. Then we got to we set up a match between Adam Walker and Amanda Walker fighting Rusty Steele and Hannah Michon, which Hannah Michon is Rusty Sona's canonical wife. Hannah Michon. She's like she was born in Russia. She's not technically, she's Russian by being birthed there, but she's not like Russian, but she's a huge anime fan. And so they had a fight. This match was kind of a drag, and you'll see it when the match actually happens because the AI took so long to get the match to conclude. Like the first match would win about maybe like 10, 12 minutes until the AI boxed it to where Rusty accidentally hit Amanda Walker. Like he tried the way it said it was like you're not supposed to hit the female in the match. You're supposed to kind of like your wrestler's supposed to kind of walk up and be like, "Hey, stop the ref," and get back without any physical violence. But he nudged Amanda Walker, and the match ended in DQ, which was fucking weird. So it was like,
yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah,
so that's bullshit moment.
Yeah, I was like, I hated that. Because what made it worse is that same thing would happen again, but it didn't get counted out the second time. Like, Adam Walker should have been busted for that. And I think I know why, because it's like Hannah actually got down and kind of avoided it, but it still looked like she got hit in the process. So this one I did include into the whole Yuzi mystery. I think it was more in case of like, oh, this is Adam Walker, the cryptic wrestler, being kind of a dick. He's like, no, I want fair and square. You saw that. Hey, not my problem. He's going around hitting my wife. Not my. I did what I had to do. We restart the match. It was one of that thing. He was doing the stupid villain heel tactic in wrestling. So, but as much of a drag as that was, that's when we finally got down to the final two matches of the night. And I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys, but I'm just kind of going through how
No, it's okay. I'm actually listening entirely. It's
pretty interesting.
It just amuses me.
And so now here, Ollie, here's where you come in. Yours is interesting too. So I'm assuming Ollie's still awake.
Yeah, I'm still.
All right. So your character has officially reached hometown hero status. Like, people are rooting for you as the underdog. Like, you had the incredible match against Mikey, if you've seen it in the Elimination Chamber, if you remember that match. Or if you want to go back and watch it, it's episode 1. And then...
It's not the Phantom Menace.
Nice. God. And then, so the second, and then so now people are starting to root for your character because you actually beat... your character had an altercation or a confrontation against Nate's wrestler, Pinch Hitter. And the whole beef with Pinch Hitter is that it's Nate's wrestler from the old streams from last year. And we set it up so Nate's wrestler, Pinch Hitter, is not particularly happy being booted from one division to another. There is a reason why he was, and that's because I wanted to set up so that us with the game are competing for the title. But since Nate doesn't have the game or a PS4, he's helping out the primetime division, like all the unknown wrestlers or the rookies and the new guys, that kind of thing. So he was placed there to kind of balance things out. You know what I mean? So it's like, if Nate had the game and played with us, he would be in the main division, but he's not. So it's like, let's have him, fight Ollie, Zach, Vendors, just to kind of test the waters, give the rookies, some warm up time and prep, right? Some experience, see how they are in the field. So Ollie's wrestler gets into a conference, or he meets Pinch Hitter, and Pinch Hitter, he goes up to Ollie and he's just like, look, I've been a undefeated third score champion, which is the name of the first server I made on Discord before we made this one. I'm also a nearly undefeated and multi-time winning server champion. Now, look, this road is not going to be easy, Ollie. And while you may have the fans, you still need to cut your teeth into the trenches of war with this one. Now, I'm going to warn you right now. That glass ceiling needs to be shattered, but if you want to shatter that, you got to get through me. And so I played as Ollie, and the AI was not doing their best because when I was playing as Ollie, I decimated Pinch Hitter very badly, rather. I kind of beat the shit out of the Pinch Hitter. And so I chalked it up as the fact, it's like, okay, Ollie's wrestler is extremely hungry for this belt, and who could blame him? Because it's like, I kind of played into the fact that sometimes Ollie gets a little frustrated. You know what I mean, right, Ollie? Sometimes whenever I tell you that your wrestler loses, you kind of take it to heart. You're like, you know what I mean, Ollie? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like there's always that whenever I tell Ollie that his wrestler has lost in some capacity, or if he's witnessing it, he's just like, "Oh man," he's disappointed entirely. Like it rained on his parade. So inversely, me playing as Ollie, he's on a hot streak, and so he decimates. Well, me as Ollie decimates Pinch Hitter, and Pinch Hitter is. Initially, he shakes Ollie's hand and is like, all right, I was not expecting to be bludgeoned to death, but Oh, was it? Oh. Yeah, Pinch Hitter shakes Ollie's hand and is like, I was not expecting to be beaten to death, but you proved me wrong. You will go very far in this business. Congratulations. So he walks out. But now in this particular moment, now, the original match was between Ollie and Mikey. And because Mikey's the champion, obviously, and Ollie is the hot number one contender. And so I don't remember giving them like specific bars to say because Ollie wasn't there, he was busy, and Mikey was either asleep or busy too. But I was like, Mikey says like, hey, I'm going to destroy you in your hometown. I'm not just going to shoot you. I'm just going to leave your skull and crossbones on the floor, buddy. It's like, I'm done with you. You got this far on a fluke. I'm going to make sure it's only a fluke, Meanwhile, Ollie's like, no. Ollie's wrestler is like, no, I got God on my side. I am blessed with the Lord. That's why they call me the Sunday Night Messiah. Right? Because that's another joke. That's another joke that we have with Ollie's wrestlers. That he's somewhat religious, like Ollie is. He's like, yeah, I have the good Lord on my side. Give me a Hail Mary, that kind of a thing.
Come on. Am I really the Ned Flanders of this group?
No. It's kind of just a running joke. We sneak it in, but we don't make it that big of a deal. But that's one of your characters.
Here, I'll be right
traits.
back.
I mean in real life.
No, not in real life. No.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, in the wrestling one, we've kind of played it up to a little bit more cartoony fashion. It's like I am the Sunday Night Messiah. I will right the. I am the. No, I mean, you don't go that far, but it's like because your guy does a little cross motion before he starts the match, which makes it funny. So it's like yeah. So it's like that happens. But here's the thing: just as Ollie and Mikey are about to throw it down. Pinch Hitter's music kicks in, and Pinch Hitter shows up and he says, Ollie, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. You have to be ready for all the curveballs and change-ups that happen in this business. I'm going to play in this match with you. I'm going to see how you do against Mikey, but with the added challenge of me being involved again, because I want to fight you one more time. I'm gonna see if you really are who you say you are. So I set it up to where pinch hitter is the instigator, so I'm playing as pinch hitter. My goal, and to make things so I'm not spamming this time, I wasn't hitting the resiliency button. So this time it made it feel like a more traditional match, like no constantly up and up and up, you know what I mean? So it's like, so Ollie and Mikey are fighting. I'm playing as pinch hitter. I do kind of give pinch hitter a bit of an advantage. I'm having like, knocking Mikey and Ollie out. But what happens is, as I throw Mikey to the corner, it suddenly dawned on me. I was like, okay, is this an elimination match or just a standard triple threat? So I didn't know. But it actually worked out in the storyline's favor because I'm throwing Mikey against the corner. Ollie's wrestler comes up from behind, turns me around, and decks me with Ollie's finisher, the mandible claw. And the thing with the mandible claw is that because Ollie was I think said you were like a practicing nurse or something like that at one point, Ollie. You were practicing not dentistry, like
medical assistant.
Medical assistant. So we gave Ollie one of the finishers, which is like the mandible claw, which he kind of like inserts into his mouth and kind of chokes the guy out. So he catches pinch hitter from surprise, catches by some surprise, and actually makes pinch hitter submit. So now pinch hitter's gone. So now the match it goes back to Ollie and Mikey, and now it's an AI match. Ollie took 3 powerful finishers in a row, back to back, and he survived each and every one of them, only to pin Mikey at the last minute, winning the match. So the AI is rooting for Ollie too. Somebody out there's looking down at Ollie and giving him the thumbs up. So Ollie won that match by complete surprise, which is it blew our minds. That was fucking incredible. That was really cool. And that's when we get to and as far as Mikey and Ollie's wrestling is concerned, their title match will be decided by Extreme Rules. Basically, flaming tables or regular tables, chairs, kendo sticks, baseball bats, ladders, hockey sticks, the stop sign, maybe a trash can. You guys are going to go all-out war with this one. And then finally, we have Final Draft versus Steven. No storyline was into this one. It was just a matter of who would win who. Final Draft won, and it was one of the quickest matches of the night. Maybe a little over 10 minutes at best. Not counting like freaking entrances, so for me like 8 minutes. You destroyed you destroyed Steven. We'll just put it to you that way. The AI wrecked him hard. Like
I can't wait to see it myself.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking I might put it on enlisted so you can actually watch the whole stream. They're all about like 45 minutes a pop if you want to do that. So if you want to just binge on it, you can watch it all the way through. You're welcome to. And so now we have it, and your match will be decided in a Hell in a Cell.
Nice.
So whether your characters fight in the ring, or take it to the top of the cell and get thrown off stage, or even down towards the entrance, we have no idea. But that concluded our stream. And damn, it was fucking nuts. Let's see.
Here, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Ollie, about that? About your match with Mikey?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't really...
You didn't pay any attention to that?
Well, there was also, a dog barking in the background.
Alright, is there anything you want me to recap for you? Because I can get back to that. If you want me to.
You can just give me the quick summary.
Basically, you are... Oh, there is one thing I actually left out that I forgot to mention the final. I'll bring it up to him when he comes back, but... Basically, you're still feuding with Mikey for the Primetime Championship belt because you actually pulled out an extremely strong showing against him at Elimination Chamber.
Oh, all right.
And then you beat Pinch Hitter, which was one of the former champions. And so the joke with, well, not necessarily a joke, but your wrestler saying is like, "Oh, I got God on my side. He knows I'm My time is finally coming here. I am rejuvenated. The spirits have aligned for me. I got this. And your character has the benefit of the underdog where everybody's rooting for you. So your people are rooting for your wrestler. The thing is that in beating Pinch Hitter, now you have a bit of an enemy because after you beat him again in a match against Mikey in the triple threat, he actually took your wrestler backstage and beat the hell out of you in an act of vengeance. Oof. Yeah, we set up this is when the D&D thing came into play. It was like Pinch Hitter your Pinch Hitter showed up when you were trading barbs with Mikey in the 2K22 universe. Said, "Hey, Ollie, listen, you're a good wrestler, and I like you, but you got to remember, in this business, there's always going to be a lot of change-ups and curveballs. You got to be prepared for any one of them. Go get them, kid. Good luck." So you guys had the triple threat, then you beat Pinch Hitter, and then you beat Mikey. Thing is, when your wrestler came back to wish Pinch Hitter good luck, it was like say, hey, you did pretty good out there too. He actually caught you off guard and fought you backstage so much as DDTing and power slamming you on the concrete floor. And you'll see that in the stream when I upload it on March 6th, unless you want me to put it on unlisted if you want to see that. It's a good story though, because your guy, now you have the sympathy thing going on for your wrestlers. Like, now can Ollie prove his naysayers wrong, Pinch Hitter and Mikey, for the primetime belt. So we will decide that next week. So if you want to watch that next week, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will get to that if you want to tune in for that.
Well, what day is that?
Every Friday night.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we do it every Friday night, man.
Okay. I thought it might be, I don't know, I guess a certain specific day.
No, it's always Friday night after Rampage, after AEW. We watch wrestling on TV, and we go straight to 2K22.
All right, then.
All right. And your match will be an Extreme Rules match with Mikey, which means you can put any weapon that you want. You can even set flaming tables. But, yeah, that is pretty much the rundown. So we got all the matches in place, and we'll see how they go.
Likewise, turn of events, huh?
Yeah, I kind of want to have you to be there. Welcome back. There's one thing I kind of left out in Ollie's match that I wanted to tell you. You know what happened after Ollie beat Pinch Hitter and Mikey in the triple threat?
What?
We set it up so that Ollie's got his first taste of WWE villainy. Remember how I said Pinch Hitter warned Ollie before the match, or Ollie's wrestler before the match? Like, not Ollie here, Ollie, but like Ollie the wrestler. He said, Ollie, you have to remember, there's a lot of, you got to prepare yourself for all the curveballs and change-ups that happen in this business. But good luck out there. Well, after the match, Ollie's wrestler went to congratulate Nate, or his Pinch Hitter wrestler, only to get jumped and beaten up to death in the backstage arena.
Oh, geez.
And that's when Nate's wrestler said, that's what he said, prepared. Like I said, you need to be prepared for any change-ups and curveballs they give you in this business. Shape up, kid, and slapped his cheeks after practically power slamming him on the concrete floor. It was pretty wild.
I'll say it sounds like a practical hullabalooza.
All right, let me send this to. All right, I'm gonna go to soda, and then we can play 2K22 if you want. But yeah, that is basically the rundown of the whole 2K22 stream. Have it you will. We'll do another one on the 24th at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it.
Oh, no worries. I'll definitely make sure that I can because I want to see the next match. Oh, Aaron?
Oh, I managed to finally post something of. I finally completed today.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, I posted something on ShareLogs. It's that Get Well Valentine's Day belated gift I made for Emily.
Nice.
Aw, I like that. That's sweet, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm here.
So, Aaron?
Yeah, what's up?
I finally managed to get myself a copy of the remaster of Dead Space. And it got me thinking that one movie that I should probably stream for us at some point is Dead Space Downfall, the prequel to Dead Space.
Yeah, maybe. I'll think about that one. I don't know about the other guys, but we'll see. It could be something to consider. I kind of want to see the Animal Crossing movie myself. That one we've been holding off for a while.
Yeah. I do have a copy of that at the ready for us. It is so friggin' adorable. And kind of emotional too, because the whole of the movie basically goes through what every player must endure whenever they're playing Animal Crossing, including when a villager has to leave.
Yeah. Alright, I'm on the 2K22 lobbies if you want to play. Any specific match you want to do?
I think I'd like to do a female-only match just to get my bearings straight with Envy.
Okay. 1-on-1, 2-on-2. What do you got in mind here?
1-on-1.
Okay. Alright, normal match. What was that? Was that you or Ollie?
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, what was that? Let's see here. Let's go. Yeah, I guess we'll just do Raw 2021. Not a big deal. I don't like that ECW ref.
Man, I can't wait to show you Envy's entrance.
Alright, let's see. Entrance is on, victory's on, edit, create superstars, custom portrait. Okay.
I decided to choose the most fitting one for Envy, and I honestly think that was a good choice to go with this one.
Let's see. Where are the female wrestlers? Did I set it to male? Oh, I think I changed. Let me fix this. I think I set it to males only. Let me recorrect this.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Great. I'm a little sleepy. That's probably why. It's like.
No. It's okay. I'm kind of tired too.
Okay, normal. Gender allowed. There we go. That's what happened. Okay. Raw 2021. Let me fix that. Let's go. Yeah, Raw 2021. Okay. Will Chris referee entrance.
But yeah, Aaron, if we ever meet in person, I'll If we ever meet in person, I'll set up my GameCube so that you and I could play Mario Party 6.
Works for me. Alright. I'll play as... I guess I'll play as Beverly. Alright, let me bring you in. That's Ollie. There you are.
Alright, just a moment. I gotta let my dogs in. I'll be right there in just a sec.
No worries.